Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring the Heavy Gear Revitalized core rulebook. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring the first edition of the role-playing game / wargame hybrid that provides the classical mech sci-fi drama, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about the Silhouette game system. This system is called Silhouette because it evokes many things that the designers hope to build into the system itself. A silhouette is simple, so the game system is simple as well. Just to give you a couple of analogies, a silhouette marks the outline and general shape of an object, just as the rules outline the game, helping to give form and definition to all situations. A silhouette is flexible and changes shape according to where you are and what light source generates it. So can the rules be adapted and modified according to your needs and the style of the game you want to play. All rule systems have to make a trade-off between extreme realism and basic playability. Silhouette is in the middle ground. Its development was based on true facts, which were then simplified step by step to a point where the game was judged fast-moving and fun to play. The system uses the traditional 6-sided dice to add a random element to the game. The numbers and modifiers were purposely chosen small, so they would be easy to remember. Silhouette is also unique since it merges two clearly different styles, role-playing and wargaming. Both can be used independently. That is, role-players can use an abstract vehicle system included in the Advanced Rules chapter, while wargamers are supplied with standardized pilots. For people wishing to intermesh both types of gameplay into one campaign, values from one aspect transfer directly to the other, so it is possible to switch back and forth if the players want to. No conversion is necessary. You can even merge Silhouette with the Card Fighter combat card system if you want.
Affirmative.
Now let's talk about the basics: dice and die rolling. The Silhouette system uses everyday 6-sided dice to add a random element to the game. The same dice rolling convention is used for both the role-playing and wargaming aspects of the rules, so this is not repeated in the respective rules section. When 2 or more dice are rolled simultaneously, the results are not added together. Instead, the highest value rolled is considered to be the outcome of the die roll. If more than 1 6 is rolled, each extra 6 adds 1 to the total. If every die rolled turns up as 1, the die roll is a fumble.
Abort.
Unless mentioned otherwise, all die rolls are rolled in this way. The totals of die rolls are often influenced by modifiers. Modifiers are added to the total of a die roll. If negative modifiers lower the total below 0, the final result is 0. So let's say that you rolled a 1 and a 3, and you have a +3. That would mean that the result would be 6. But what if it's a -3? Then the result would be 0, because the highest die rolled in that instance would be 3. Now, when it comes to action tests consist of a die roll whose result is compared to a fixed value called a threshold. This is basically a target number in other role-playing games. Threshold values reflect the difficulty of the task. Higher thresholds indicate more difficult situations. So for example, if it's a routine task, it's a threshold of 2. If it's a moderate task, it's a threshold of 4. Thresholds of very difficult category would be 7, and so forth. Because of the peculiar probability curve of the 6-phase die system used by Silhouette, the difficulty level of the thresholds increases dramatically after 7. If the die roll with any situation modifier added surpasses the chosen threshold, the test succeeds. The degree of success is defined by the margin of success, a value equal to the die roll plus modifiers minus the threshold. The magnitude of the margin of success reflects the success of the action test. If the die roll again with modifiers added is less than the threshold, the test fails. The degree of failure is defined by the margin of failure, a value equal to the threshold minus the die roll plus modifiers. A high margin of failure indicates a miserably failed action test. If the total die roll and the threshold are equal, a draw occurs. In role-playing situations, draws are often interpreted as marginal successes or ambiguous results. In combat, draws tend to favor the defender. In the tactical rules, draws also generally favor the defender.
Engage the enemy.
When it comes to opposed action tests, sometimes two individuals will oppose each other's actions. Attacks can be dodged. Guards may notice people sneaking past them. Negotiations obviously require more than one participant. When two or more individuals oppose each other's actions, an opposed action test is called for. Each opponent makes a die roll. The highest result wins the test. The margin of success of an opposed action test is equal to the winner's roll minus the loser's roll. If more than two participants are involved, separate margins of successes are worked out between each of the participants. Tied rolls result in draws. In general, draws are always wins for the resisting unit. For example, units defending from attack, detection, or persuasion.
Fall back!
Concerning fumbles, a fumble is a mistake or mishap. Fumble action tests can spell disaster for a player. In the tactical game, fumbles produce clearly described results. This could include getting hit automatically by enemy fire, or perhaps crashing your vehicle. This is hardly the case in the role-playing game rules, due to the mind-boggling number of possible actions and outcomes. The effects of each separate fumble must be described by the game master. Some suggested fumble effects are listed in the role-playing rules section. Concerning ratings, skills, and skill tests, in both forms of the game, people are rated in terms of their skills.
I'm under heavy fire. Requesting assistance.
A skill is a learned talent or ability, which is often improved with practical experience. Only a few skills exist in the tactical game, while no theoretical limit exists for the number of skills in the role-playing game. Skill levels transfer directly from the role-playing system to the tactical system. In addition, it is a common practice in the tactical game to rate individuals such as gear pilots in terms of their general training. For example, a pilot rated as veteran is assumed to have skill level 3 in all relevant tactical game skills. So you have skill level 1, which concerns the rookie tier. You have skill level 3, as mentioned, veteran, and you have skill level 5, which is legendary. Skills are useful in determining the outcome of skill tests, a common form of action test as you have seen. In a skill test, the number of dice roll is equal to the skill level of the person involved. When it comes to ratings, items or individuals are assigned ratings to indicate how effective they are at certain tasks. A vehicle's maneuver score or its speed are both ratings, as is a person's build attribute or his stamina trait. Many ratings, such as a vehicle's maneuver rating or an individual's attributes, are zero average ratings. These are the ones presented in a plus or minus format. This type of rating assumes that the rating will be used as a modifier for die rolls. An average score is unexceptional and is therefore rated as a 0. This cuts down drastically on the number of factors and modifiers used. Any below average scores are rated as negative numbers, and any above average scores are rated as positive numbers, of course. Ratings mark the difference between learned abilities and true talent. Thus, an average gear pilot with a long career could have a skill level of 3 in piloting, while the young up-and-coming hotshot pilot might only rate a level 1 in piloting, but at a +2 in agility. Because of experience, the veteran may succeed more on average, but only the hotshot will be able to pull the truly heroic stunts. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about the role-playing rules. The silhouette system is truly quite simple. It's a dice pool, but you only count the highest die rolled, and you add some modifiers, that's it. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.